Hello, my friends. I don't know what happened there, why we had issues with the other stream. I think it's because I tried to schedule it from my phone last night and it didn't like that. I apologize. But I hope everybody has had a lovely Christmas and is having a nice Boxing Day. That is the day, the 26th of December in Canada, that we celebrate it. My volume's low. Aw. I'm still loving the green screen too. Maybe I'm just being quieter, because in fact the volume is louder than it normally is. Although I did plug it into a different USB port, so maybe that has some impact on it. I can do one that's as loud as it goes on the computer side. Otherwise, I have to change the gain on the microphone, but I really probably shouldn't have to change that. Um, yeah, I'm squatting. I need to be quiet, obviously. I appreciate everybody coming today, and I was just filing my nails. They're still doing really well. I am still going to give a shout out to the girl that did my nails in Orlando because they lasted the longest. They were the best ones. But I do appreciate that these are still there. Uh, I hope everybody, like I said, had a good Christmas. Hi, Michelle. How are you? It's a bit early. It's a Tuesday. In Canada, it's a holiday, but in the States, there's court going on. I didn't get any fresh court for us. I had already planned some court um, that we didn't get to yesterday. So we're going to start with a little bit of some name change court, which is sort of unusual. And what does Canada call Boxing Day? Why does Canada call this Boxing Day? Oh, that's a good question. So, the way that I always interpreted it as a kid was because it's the day you go shopping. So, you get money for Christmas and then you go on Boxing Day, and the shops are open on Boxing Day. Nothing would be normally open on Christmas Day, but the shops would be open on Boxing Day. And you could go and buy things with your money that you got for Christmas or return items that you didn't want. But I'm sure that it has something else to do with something. So let's see what it says. Let's see what Wikipedia says, huh? Shall we? Um, Boxing Day is a holiday celebrated after Christmas Day, occurring on the second day of Christmastide, December 26th. Though it originated as a holiday to give gifts to people in need. Oh, that's nice. Um, Today, Boxing Day forms part of Christmas celebrations, with many people choosing to take advantage of Boxing Day sales. It originated in the UK and is celebrated in several Commonwealth nations. The attached bank holiday or public holiday may take place on the 28th of December if it's necessary to ensure it falls on a weekday. So, okay. Yeah, it is so busy that you have to box your way through. Absolutely. In Canada, Boxing Day is a federal statutory holiday. So what that means is that if you work on Boxing Day, you're going to be paid, I think it's time and a half at least. And then depending on your workplace, like some workplaces will have negotiated even better um, stat pay for that. So, uh, so that means government offices, banks, and postal services are closed. But so like when I worked at the bank, banks weren't open on Sundays. They were open on some of them were open on Saturdays. That's why I worked at a bank, because I was in high school and I would work on Saturdays at the bank. But banks weren't ever open on Sundays. And there are rules in Canada that the banks have to be open, like they can't be closed more than 3 days in a row or something like that. So let's say Christmas fell on a Friday, and then Boxing Day on a Saturday, and then the bank would be closed on the Sunday, even though the Boxing Day on a Saturday, you would get a stat in lieu, um, you the bank had to be open because there was these rules about it. Jonathan, yes. I apologize. I'm trying to delete that other one, but I can't right now. Maybe I'll try and do that before we get watching this. Um, just give me a second and I will try. Oh, don't play that. Don't play that. Just give me 1 second and I'll try and delete that other stream so that it's not as confusing. One moment, please. What did everybody get for their that's the other thing about Boxing Day. So in Canada, they recently implemented something called um Family Day in February. And Family Day is for, yes, to celebrate family or whatever. But some businesses went ahead and got rid of like the box. They sort of didn't want to add an extra stat holiday. So they were trying to replace it with like eliminating Boxing Day as a holiday. Yeah, I'm going to delete that or delete this. Mm. Give me 1 second. Oh, it's up here. I do edit, more actions, delete forever. I understand. Delete forever. Okay. So that's doing it. So that one should disappear in a moment. You think you get double time? Maybe. So basically, if you're in a federal employment through the federal government or federally mandated, so for example, transportation is a federally regulated industry. So when I worked for the bus company, I had to follow federal labor laws and federal rules. And so what that would mean would be you have to follow the federal days off. Each province has their own statutory days. So if you work for the provincial government, you have different days off. And yeah, it does sound like Black Friday. It is definitely, I guess, something like back when I was younger, it was a big deal. Like you would prep, you'd be like, okay, you're going Boxing Day shopping with me, just like Black Friday used to be a pretty big deal. But nowadays with online shopping, it's less of a big deal and less of an outing that you need to partake in. I think people got over the fact like back in the day, you used to think you were going to miss something. Like the sales would be so good that you would miss something and you would regret it. And so you had to go. But it's not like that anymore. My daughter went on her trip today, so she flew out of the airport. I think it's a pretty busy travel day, but luckily she's just traveling domestically within Canada, so not as busy in Canada. But in the States, I know that Boxing Day or the 26th is a pretty busy travel day. Anyways, I have deleted that other one. I don't know if it's actually fully deleted yet or not. Vicky, my ex-husband, oh, that's right. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to be cognizant of people's online wishes and not wanting to like have their business online or not. Just because I choose to have my business online doesn't mean that everybody does. But my ex-husband um, would get paid triple time to work on a holiday for sure. And he already got paid very well. So we're talking like close to $100 an hour. I was like, yeah, fucking right. You're going to work. We'll celebrate another day. It's just fine. Um, But also they were he's expecting another baby with his wife to be, and they were in the hospital yesterday on Christmas trying to induce the baby. I was like, who the hell would induce a baby on Christmas? It's craziness to me. But the baby wasn't born, so we're still on baby watch. Anyways, like I said, we're gonna watch this. It's deleted now. Thank you. That's good to know. I do apologize. I think what happened was when I tried to create it from my phone, it did like a mobile version, and then it wouldn't just let me Streamlabs into it. So I appreciate you guys sticking it out, being here. Like I said, let's watch a little bit of this name change. I want to see if these are just last names, if they're first names. I see a kid up there. Maybe I'll get out Larry or somebody. What do I got? What do I got that could cover up somebody? No, we don't need that. What about this? What is that? Hmm. I could just. No, that's a hard pass. Hard pass. Also, if anybody's noticed, I added some new emojis for members only that we'll be using for our uh New Year's Eve. You can test them out now. What am I gonna put over that girl? Oh, bingo. I'll put bingo over her. Bingo. There we go. I think that's pretty good. We'll just cover her right up. Chris, oh my gosh. You can't read what they say? Okay, the pink one says smash. The blue one says pass. The green one is actually a gift bow. That's not exactly very clear. I realize that. One of them says mask, and then one of them is just like a subscribe to my channel because I had made it, but we'll move that one. Fuck. It's hard to make emojis. If somebody wants to make emojis that are 1 by 1, that's the size they need to be, that are better than that, fucking have at her and send them to me, and I will make them into emojis. I've really tried. Fuck. Hate it when things don't work out very well. No, no, no. Also, apparently I have astigmatism like in my eyes. My sister got glasses. I tried them on. 1 by 1. I don't know. That's what they say. I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't know. They just mean 1 by 1. That I don't know what they mean by it. They just said 1 by 1. And when I went on to like design that, it's got to be it was like one it just had an option 1 by 1. Maybe 1 by 1 inch. I don't know. That's why I did it uh in different colors. I thought that would help, but I guess not. Okay, let's listen to these guys change their names for a little bit. Then I have I think it's a divorce hearing from Judge Iserloh. And then afterwards, what we are going to be doing is well, and so the big D though, we can see the big D, right? So like how do we make them all look like the big D? That's the question. Maybe we just need a S and a P, smash or pass, and we just need one letter and it's got to be big. Maybe that's the thing. Sorry, I'm just thinking this out with you guys here. Because I did actually spend time making those, and I know it doesn't look like it, and I was trying to make it so they were visible. Mm. Oh, I'm happy to announce that um, Courtney found her keys. I think we knew that, but that's like a Christmas miracle around here. And I found my pen. Oh man. Did I lose it again? Oh no, I found it. It's down here. Oh, phew. Okay, it's here. Okay, let's watch some court.
22nd of December. Day even feels longer.
Once you do stuff.
Okay, what did we just stumble into? What is he laughing about? That was such a weird laugh. That's a nervous laugh, right? That's got to be a nervous laugh. Big P with ass under it. Maybe a peach. I could do a peach under it. What? Oh, seriously, what in the heck?
Good afternoon. It's Thurston County District Court. Our name change calendar for Friday afternoon, the 22nd of December. Day even feels longer.
Once you do stuff, I guess the day goes by faster.
Yeah, that's right. Well, we get an extra 30 seconds of daylight today. All right. So it's Angel, right?
Yes.
And you go by Angel or Angel?
So my original name is Damien, but I go by Angel.
Okay.
In Spanish, it's pronounced Angel. Angel. It doesn't matter, like, because it sounds similar, but my family says Angel in Spanish. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we're dropping the Damien, right?
Yes.
Angel?
Yes.
Okay. Is your family around here?
Are they from here or do they live?
They live here.
I live in Yelm with my grandmother.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are you and your grandma doing for Christmas?
Well, we have a Christmas Eve party at her friend's house. And then we have another party on Christmas Day. This time it's gonna be at our house. So yeah, we're gonna have two parties in 2 days, I guess.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Go home tonight and get your sleep.
Yeah.
All right. So Damien, you've lost the Damien.
Yes.
The year of 2023 is the year of losing Damien.
Correct.
And you go into 2024 just as Angel.
Correct.
So if you want to come on up and get his paperwork for him?
Oh, sure. We'd love to do that.
Thanks.
Get honors. Now I'll hand it to you. Oh, that is beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
There you are. And look, it's all official stamps and everything. Look,
Thank you.
Washington is right there. Look, it's not embossed.
It's all right.
Unfortunately,
It's all right.
Okay.
Yeah, but
I get the
trust, it's just
gist.
there. Yeah.
I
All
got
right.
the gist though.
Thank you. Your Honor.
Yeah. Merry Christmas.
Is it all finished?
You're all finished.
Thank you, sir. Thank you,
Yeah.
sir. Pleasure.
Just gathering your stuff. Maybe I wanna do that. I think of a better name.
But learn from.
Okay. The whole point of this is not making fun of people. I just want you to know that. If you need to change your name for any reason, whatever, I'm cool with it. I just wanted to know what that was like. This is weird. So he's already been called Angel or Angel by his family, but he's dropping the Damien. I did not pick up on that, but Cellulite Yoga Pants did. Demon or Damien and Angel. Yeah, let's see what else we got. Also, if I forget to move the bingo card and the girl moves, somebody remind me. I'm trying to be on top of it.
Me.
How great.
I mean, I'm a brave person, so.
You isn't life changing anything like that unless it's 60 seconds, right? Efficiency, Washington State, right on.
Yeah, well, no, Angel's the one doing the life-changing stuff. You know, it's, we're all getting a chance to think about how lucky, we are to, be able to, have some senses that Angel doesn't have, but I'm sure his other senses are keener than the ones we use. So thanks for the,
Oh, Jesus Christ, he's actually blind. Oh my God. I feel bad. I feel bad.
thanks for the lesson today, Angel.
Yeah, anytime, yeah.
Yeah.
First blind person to go to court.
No, you're not, but
Oh, I was gonna say. I'm not the only one.
yeah, you're not. All right. Good to see you.
Always.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Good to see you, Judge. Could you have been a little bit more sensitive? Like, rub it in much that you're seeing him and he's not seeing you?
Good day.
Yep, you too.
Oh.
Towards me. Towards me. And you know what's easier? I'm going to be my elbow.
It's all right. I can just listen to your voice.
Okay, that's easier.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tiffany Mitchell,
Yes, sir.
good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Okay, last name or first name? Do we think Tiffany Mitchell is changing her last name or her first name? I think it's just too much to guess what it would be changing to, but we could guess last name or first name. You know? I think she's changing her last name to LDC, yeah. I think she's going with last name. Maybe a divorce? I don't know. I did not have to do this. But maybe I did have to do it and I just didn't do it.
So you've been going by Lillian?
Yeah, most of my life, my mom even calls me Lilium.
Hey, wait,
Just
Sorry, Lilium? Lilium? William? Is it William or Lilium? We were wrong. It's first name. Okay, so Tiffany is changing to Lillian? Is it Lillian? I have to go back. Oh my. Also, I just also want to say I'm not putting the kid's face out there, but for an accurate representation of what the kid's face look like right now, you can just look at her mother right beside her. They look identical. Absolutely identical.
so you've been going by Lillian?
yeah, most of my life, my mom even calls me Lilium.
Hey, wait,
Just not everybody else. My
Yeah.
mother originally called me Tiffany. She was very young.
Yeah.
And she was watching Saved by the Bell when she was, when I was born, and she said, I'm gonna name her Tiffany. But my grandmother wanted to name me Lilium, which is like a family name.
Yeah.
And so I've been going by Lilium for like 20 years, and I just went, I'm so close to almost 50 that like maybe I should just get this done. And so
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
I'm sorry. I have many questions now. Lilium with an M? Almost 50? What are you using? What lighting are you using? What the fuck? She doesn't look almost 50. She doesn't sound almost 50. Oh my goodness. Lilium. Lilliam. Another name relegated to spelling her whole life. Now she's been doing it twice. Howdy, Hector. Lilium. Lilium. Spanish roots, being a variation of the French name Liliane. Liliane. Oh, I'm very happy that we got a Saved by the Bell reference. That's cool. Is 30 almost 50, right? Like, am I almost 50? Oh, don't make those faces, Paisley. Or else when you are 50, you are going to need Botox.
Excited.
Okay, but let's be clear, you're not even close to 50 yet. So,
I'm 13 years away.
okay.
Okay, I'll take this opportunity to just say, fuck you, bitch. Okay, you're 2 years older than me, and you just said that you're close to 50? That's not fair. Mikey, you are 50. She's 13 years away. She's closer to 40. You don't get to claim you're closer to 50 when you're closer to 40. That doesn't make any sense. Also, she's changing her name to Lilium. That means I'm close to 50. Oh my God. I can't handle it. Oh, that doesn't make me look very good. Oh my gosh. Also, Mikey, how are you feeling? I hope you're feeling a little bit better. I hope you had a good Christmas. This is a name change docket. 37 is the new 50. Oh, no. No. She's closer to 30 than she's closer to 50. She's actually, I mean, she's about as close to 35 or 25 as she is to 50. I don't like this. Angel got his name changed. Now she's changing her name to Lilium with an M. Also, I forbid all of you from referring to your age like that. Almost 50, but 13 years away? No, I'm almost 140.
Yeah. Well, you're making me jealous.
That man was so nice.
He was.
What is going on here? Is this because nobody's in trouble? Is this because this is court where people are not in any sort of risk of being in trouble? These are all like just, they're self-propelled court things, I guess. I don't know how to put it. My brain's not working because I'm close to 50. Ugh.
Obviously, it was important to him to get that name changed. And, it's amazing when we sort of forget how difficult it might be to navigate the world if you can't see. And watching
Definitely.
someone do it so gracefully was impressive.
Mm-hmm.
All right. William, no longer have to look over your shoulder wondering who's going to call you Tiffany.
Thank you so
All
much,
right.
sir. It means so much to me.
Yeah.
Is there
Well,
anything else I need
congratulations.
to do?
We're going to mail you a copy of that and just watch for it in the mail.
Thank you so much. God bless you. Have a
Yeah.
wonderful
Merry
holiday
Christmas.
season. Merry
Okay, she's very excited. Oh God, I would still call her Tiffany. I'm such a bitch. I'm such a bitch. I would. That's just the way I am. She would be Tiffany for life if she was my sister or something. Do you think they are not confirming spelling here? So they must have paperwork because they are like Lilium with an M. I am questioning how to spell that. I've seen now Hector's got it with a U. We've got with an A, like Lilium. Hi Courtney. Did I say that? Uh, they are really jazzed. They really are. Like these people are really happy to be here. Again, than um different than the normal court that we watch, but I think it's fun. So, like I said, I'm covering up. There's a little girl up there. I don't know why she's up there. I'm just covering her up for my own sake. But like I said, her and her mother are identical. So if you want to know what she looks like, just look at her mother.
Merry
Yep.
Christmas.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Griffin Spence.
Yes,
Hi,
Your Honor.
Griffin.
Griffin Spence. Okay, he looks young too. I'm sure there are paperwork. Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, like, you think that they would double check the spelling on the record. Um, like I said, I want to be clear. We are not making these or watching these to make fun of people. That's not why I'm doing it. I understand that there may be gender differences and that's why names are changing, but so far we haven't seen that. So far it's been a blind guy and this lady was very excited to change her name to Lilium. So let's see what this one's gonna be.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Okay, so Griffin, and is it Germain or Jermaine? How do you say it?
It's Herman, sir.
Herman. Yeah, okay. There you go. That makes sense. All right, and Griffin with the Y, not an I, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, cool name. I like that.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So are you still in school?
Yes, sir. I'm in senior year of high school and doing Running Start at college. So,
Good. Where are you going to high school?
Capital High School, sir.
What's up next year?
Probably just finishing my college. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Out at SPS?
Yes, sir.
What? What is college? If because in Canada, yeah, and I thought I was a little concerned, confused too, Hector, because I just realized I was like, fuck, I gotta cover this guy up too, because he's under 18. But in reality, he's close to 40, if we're going by Lilium's words. College is uni, but then how in the actual fuck can he be finishing his senior year of high school and then plan on finishing college next year? That doesn't make sense. Even the most basic college, you'd need 2 years. So is he in the AP program or the IE, whatever those stupid programs are for real smart kids to like do it? I don't know. Also, we've talked about, see, this is maybe I should give my speech to these people who are picking their own names, what as opposed to parents who are picking their kids' names because, pregnancy hormones and all that kind of shit. Um, I guess it's fine. I don't know how he spelt it. Gryfyn or something. Hmm.
Okay. And what are you studying out there?
A degree in arts, sir.
What type of art?
I'm not really sure yet. I'm still figuring that out.
That's what school.
Then you can't even be close to done. Then you can't be close to done. I mean, how could he be close to done if he doesn't even know? All he had to say was painting, pencils, collages, macrame, clay, abstract. Like you could say anything. But all you're saying is telling me you ain't actually even close to done. Because here's the reality. Do you know what an art student who's getting a degree in arts would say? Oh, I'm going to get my master's instead of having a job. So that's just the way that is.
about, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool name for an artist. I'll say that. Griffin Spence. All right.
Thank you.
It's official, and we'll send you a copy of the order.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Griffin. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Lorraine Wade. See, is it Butler? Butler or Butter? Can't tell. Lorraine?
Well, there's a big difference between butter and a butler. A butler will bring you butter. Butter not bring you butler. Um, I'm sorry. See, that's what I'm talking about. He doesn't know what it is, and he's looking at the papers. That's a problem, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, there we go. Now we have you connected. Do you have video? There we go.
There we go.
Excellent. All right, so you're just going back to the maiden name of Wade.
That's correct, sir.
Okay. And you're an artist as well, I understand.
I am. I'm a painter and I do fabric wall art and abstract.
See? See? See, that's a real artist. They tell you what kind of art. Um, his new name will be Margarine. It's a apparently.
art.
Okay. You know, you could have weighed in and given Griffin some guidance as to what type of art you ought to move to.
Well, I was a teacher. I probably could have.
And I'm sure he would have really appreciated unsolicited advice.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that, you know, that would be a typical artist, right? Just listening what other people tell them to do.
Exactly. And high schoolers love to hear these things. How do I get a couple? Excuse me. How do I get a couple extra copies?
Just contact the court.
Okay.
We'll send you one copy, but just contact us and we can make arrangements for others.
Well, I appreciate that.
Yep. And where do you show your art?
I'm at a local gallery there at the mall, the Artist Gallery.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well,
You need to visit it.
I'll keep my eye out for it.
All right.
I'll say I knew her when she was Wade Butler.
Butter.
Butter. Okay. And then, yeah, it looks.
Confirmed it is butter. Oh, oh God. This is actually cringy. This is like cringy at this point, right? The judge is trying to be really like jovial, but oh my God. I can't believe she's no longer butter.
Silly when if I said Butler. All right. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you so much. Bye.
Yes. Bye.
Is that it? He just needed to sign it.
Yeah, that's it. Piece of cake.
You guys, I just noticed one of the names on the screen is Vespera. Vespera. Do you think that's what she's changing it to or from? Oh my God. You guys are making me laugh.
And Winter Pretty.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. This is
No, 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 nope, no, 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 no. Remember, guys, let's all go to the park, to the mall, and start yelling out, "Winter Pretty!" You're gonna feel dumb. You're gonna feel dumb. Okay? You're gonna feel dumb. I think that this must be what she's changing it to. Like, you're gonna sound like a little bit of a simpleton if it's wintertime and you're standing outside just yelling, "Winter Pretty! Winter Pretty!" Like, oh my God.
Winter.
Hi, Winter.
No, it's the child. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Donna, thank you. Thank you so much. I know. Is it winter with a Y? I feel like it is. Wait, why is this happening? Why is this happening at this age? I'm gonna say she has a big smile on her face. Oh, God. Jonathan. Oh my God. Thank you again, Donna. This is a whole name change docket, and I am like, is it from winter or change the name from winter or go to CPS school?
Winter, you're not in school today.
No, it's winter
No,
break.
what grade are you in?
Third.
Third grade? Do you like your teacher?
Third grade. She's almost done university based upon these people's math and time distances. I don't understand why a child's changing their name in the third grade.
Yeah,
Okay, what school?
Lydia Hawk.
Oh, okay. All right. And is it fun playing hooky from school?
Yeah.
They're on winter
Yeah.
break, Your Honor.
Oh, well, that would make sense. The Friday before Christmas. Yeah, okay. You and everybody else is playing hooky from school today. But I bet you're the only classmate that's in court. Yeah, I think so. So, Winter, you want to be Winter Oliveris?
Yeah.
That make a lot of sense? Okay, well, we can do that for you.
What do you say?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I haven't signed it yet, so you could hold off on that for a minute if you want. Winter, what did you get your mom for Christmas? And don't give up a surprise. Just whisper between you and me.
I can't tell.
Okay, good answer. But I know what she got you for Christmas. She got you a name change.
Yep.
And she hopes something else. All right. You're Winter Oliveris. Bye, Winter. Merry Christmas.
Thank
Bye.
you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. Bye.
No way you knew two girls named Winter. Both spelt with an I, Mikey. That's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. I know the name doesn't match mom's at all, but I'm telling you, I was looking at them the whole time. They look related. So obviously, we don't get to know all the details about why this is happening, but the judge, who is the gatekeeper of these things, is supposed to, like, I guess, make sure it's in the best interest. I don't really know what the sort of baseline determination before changing somebody's name is. Um, let's watch a little bit more of this and then maybe we'll get on to that divorce. I can't believe this. Also, 2 girls named Winter, Mikey. I've never heard anybody named Winter. Maybe that's because I'm from a part of the country that we don't have a lot of winter. You could just call them muck and rain.
Nicole Ford.
Hi,
Hi, Nicole. How are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. And middle name of Willow, is that right?
Yep, that's correct.
Great. Okay, it's officially Nicole Willow Ford, and Nicole will put a copy of the order in the mail to you.
Thank you.
All righty. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Have a good one.
Thanks, you too. Bye-bye. Sophia Gaspar.
I have an urge to burst out into a Beauty and the Beast song. Yeah, basically that was the only one that didn't have a conversation. Oh, Jonathan's busting out some name knowledge here. Pass. Chris is using the emojis. Oh fuck. Oh, this judge is terrible at small talk. He is on the smash or pass list, by the way, though.
Oh,
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Doing great. So you want this to be the last time somebody calls you Sophia? From here forward, you want to be Salem.
Yes.
Okay.
Did he say Sailor or Salem? They're both incredibly bad. I'm apologizing, Sailor or Salem. Oh. Salem's a cat's name. I know there are multiple people in this chat that have a cat named Salem. Okay? I'm yeah. These are adults living out decisions. You know, when I was younger, I wanted to be called Stacy. Okay? Paisley, I wanted Stacy because of the Babysitters Club books and to be normal, to just be normal. Oh, Salem. Is there a cigarette brand? We don't have that brand in Canada, or not that I know of. Um, who wants to bet? You look like a Stacy. Stacy's. Um, that's all I ever wanted as a kid was to look like a Stacy. But I know normal is overrated. I get it. I get it. But do we think that if she gets married, she would do it like in Salem in a black dress, maybe? Like, is that the depth of her love for the name?
And Navenna, is that how you say the
Yeah,
other name?
Navenna Maeve.
Okay, Salem, Navenna, Maeve, Gaspar.
Yeah.
And how'd you pick that name?
It took quite a long time of searching through all sorts of different names with different meanings. And I, had my siblings help me out, and they
Yeah,
got to pick out what they felt suited me as well. So,
okay.
yeah.
But did you have veto power over any names they came up with?
Um, not really, no. I mean, of course, I was the one who was like actively picking them out and giving them
Right.
lists to choose from, but
Okay.
yeah.
That's a nice way of doing it. Usually when I ask that question, people say, well, it's, from a book or it's part of history or it was in a
Mm.
song. You're the first one who said, I asked my family members, and that's a high degree of
Yeah.
trust in your family members.
That's actually not even close to true. We heard that this hearing. Did we forget about Lilium? Lilium, whose grandma wanted to name her Lilium, but whose mom named her Tiffany because of Saved by the Bell? That was moments ago. That's literally the same story.
Yeah, well, they mean a lot to me, so
Yeah, that's very nice. Okay.
yeah.
Salem, Nevada, Maeve, Gaspar.
Yes.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. I do have one question for you.
Go ahead.
I don't know if you'll be able to answer it, but
But are all my warrants gone now? Just kidding.
um to apply for a new birth certificate from California, since I was born there, it will need
Right.
to be notarized, and I'm wondering where I should go for that.
Oh, I know the answer to this one. I know it. Oh my God. Okay, come on. Get it right, Paisley. Get it right. Get it right. To a notary. A fucking notary.
To a notary public. So,
Mhm.
you'll just have to look online to see where you live is a notary.
Okay.
We don't have any particular, I don't think we have one right now on the court staff. Their offices, banks frequently have notaries.
Okay.
So just look around.
All right.
Okay.
Um,
All right. Bye, Salem.
all right. Bye. Thank you.
Yes.
Kathleen, I don't think that your criminal history follows your new name. However, the alias of your old name follows your new name. So it will be noted. Like, for example, I now have aliases because of like getting married and divorced. So they ask you to declare your all like previous names as well. Um, so you either have to like consciously not do that or yeah. Judge buffering for you, ladies and gentlemen. He is buffering.
Hi, Carly. I was just reading your. So Carly Fisher.
Hi, Your Honor.
Hi, Carly. I was just reading your note about seeking approval for service by publication. Where do you think Mr. Bankston resides?
The last I heard it was Lacey, but I haven't been in contact with him in 5 years, so I'm not quite sure.
Okay. All right. So do you know what's involved with?
What happened? Is he combining hearings? That sounds like but she hasn't had contact with him for 5 years, so why would she need a TPO? What? Oh, Lacey is a town and a woman. Actually, Lacey was the name I wanted to name my daughter that I went to work and told one of my girlfriends at work. I said, "Oh my God, I think we picked the name Lacey." And she was like, "Oh my God, you want her to be a stripper?" And I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, that's a stripper name." And I was like, "Okay, well, it's definitely off the fucking list now. Thanks, Karen." Her name was actually Karen. She's actually very nice, but her name was Karen.
Service by publication?
Not exactly. I know he needs to be served, but I'm not exactly sure.
But you don't have an address for him, right?
I don't. And I went to the North Thurston Sheriff's Department last week and they sent him, well, they found whatever address was last on there, but I haven't gotten a letter back from the Sheriff's Department to know if they were able to contact him or not.
Okay. Well, if they're able to contact him, then you don't need to do service by publication. So if they haven't contacted him and you don't have any other way of finding him, since his last known address was in the city of Lacey, what would be required is that you publish a notice in probably the Olympian for 3 consecutive weeks, providing notice of a future hearing date so that Mr. Bankston has the right to appear and argue if he's going to argue as to why it shouldn't happen. So that's the process. So what we'll do is we'll reset this approximately a month. Maybe we'll go out 5 weeks just so you have a little extra time to make this happen. And if in the meantime you get from the city of Lacey a proof of service that they actually found Mr. Bankston and handed him notice of today's hearing, then just present that to the court and I'll go ahead and sign the order without another hearing.
Okay.
But if he hasn't been served, then you'll need to do this notice or service by publication and then present the proof that you've done that at the next hearing so the court can then proceed with the name change.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, and if you have any questions, you can just contact the civil office and they can help you through that process.
Okay, I appreciate that.
All right, thank you, Ms. Fisher. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oh, I think Bad Scooter got it. Yay, thank you. I think that she is probably trying to change a child's name and she has to get the other parent's notification, I guess. I mean, it's a name change. She said name change. And he buffers while I buff my nails.
Middle name. I wanted to keep definitely not yet.
Raven Taylor.
It's not my legal name.
Not yet.
No, yeah, definitely not yet.
But you want it to be.
Yes.
Okay, I thought I'd just try it out and see if you responded.
Well, I mean, I'll put it on the document. So
Yeah,
I knew that, that's what you were referring to.
okay. All right, so Raven Lynn Taylor.
Yeah, my Lynn is my legal middle name. I wanted
Right.
to keep that because I've always been fond of it. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to be named after my dad anymore. There's a lot of trauma and a lot of bigotry behind being named after him. So I just want to have my own name. I want to have my own life. I think that I'm mature enough now to decide that. But I just kind of I want to change.
Well, sir, you're almost 50, and according to this court. Once again, I feel like sending this to my ex-husband who's naming his new baby after himself.
My name so I can just forget about him. So just fade it out of my mind and just live my own life, be who I want to be. And both those names, Raven and Taylor, are both gender neutral names. So
Okay, great. You know, I do this a lot, and I see a lot of folks who, for whatever reason, want to sort of wash the past and move on. And changing a name is, one pretty important symbolic way of doing that.
yes, sir. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
Amanda, we had that funny discussion at dinner, my daughter's birthday dinner, because we were yes, that's original music I'm singing. So we're at dinner. He tells us what the baby's name is going to be. The thing is that I did a weird-ish thing with my daughter. I made all of our initials the same by just the way it was. So I named her a P name. He has a P name, and I have a P name. And then they each have middle names that begin with M. And so already there's this joke that we have the same initials. But when he told us this, I actually made the joke. I was like, I mean, what would you say if I wanted to name a child Paisley? Like, you'd think I was full of myself, super full of myself. I don't understand why it's okay for men, but it's just a weird thing for women. But also, I wouldn't do that. It's such an odd thing. But anyways, he joked and he was like, "Oh, actually, we're gonna name her Paisley Jr." But it's a boy and they're not. So
All right, officially, Raven Lynn Taylor. So Raven, come on up here, and Jason will give you a copy of the order.
Thank you.
Yep.
And I was told I could get more copies from here for a couple weeks and get them at the auditor's office.
Yep. What's the process for getting additional copies?
Yeah, we'll have them here at the court for about a week, and then if he needs additional, we'll get copies.
Okay, thank you.
So anytime in the next week. All right, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Thanks.
just to be clear, I'm almost 50. I'm not having any more kids. Ooh, why does it feel so yucky to say that? Because I guess I could say I'm almost 40. I don't like saying that either. But oh yeah, I'm good, Nancy. I'm not having any more kids, so there won't be any more naming conventions coming from me. And I've already solidified the advice that I give about baby names and I guess about changing names as well. And so you thought I was 25. Well, thank you. That makes me feel pretty good. Um, but uh so I don't even have an a name that I want to see. No, I'm on right now, Nancy. Um when my daughter was in my belly and we were deciding on names, the name that we had landed on first and that we had sort of decided on um was Venice, Venice, which I think is a lovely name. Haven't heard very many of the people with that name. I don't think so. No having babies. No, I'm not having babies. And I'm 35. Um, I would show you my driver's license, except that the lady at the driver's license place did me so dirty, like so dirty. When I went to get my renew my driver's license, she was like, "I need to see both of your ears in the picture." I'm like, "First of all, I've never heard of that. What are you talking about? You need to see both of my ears in the picture." What? But what that resulted in was like me doing like a face like this to try and show both ears, looking just absolutely hideous. And she was just being mean. And here's how I know. Because she looked at the license and she goes, "Did you want to change the weight and update it?" And again, inside my brain is going, "Oh, you fucking bitch." Like, ouch. Yeah, I know I'm fatter, but ouch. But then my other part of my brain goes, "Paisley, she's doing her job. Her job is to review the driver's license for inaccurate data and update it so that it is proper, right?" Well, I update the fucking weight and my ugly ass face. I get the driver's license back. Bitch left me as blonde. Okay? So it quite obviously wasn't about actual accuracy at all. Because now it just says I'm a fat blonde. I will say though, my passport photo, very good. Also, I look like a Russian gangster in it though. And it's a 10-year passport and I'm desperately got to work on my contouring for when I need to renew that passport.
Jordan White.
Hello.
Hi, Jordan.
How are you?
Great. You got married.
I did, yes, in September.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And you're going to a married name of Michelle.
Correct.
And it's Michelle, not Michael, right?
Yes, although my destiny would be to be Jordan Michael, backwards Michael Jordan, which would be so fun.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, my first name's Michael, and I named my daughter Michelle.
Oh, see.
Excuse me, what? Your first name's Brent. Is his first name not Brent? I put him in the Smash or Pass thing with the little placard in front of him that says Brent Buckley. Who's that? What in the fuck? There are like 3 judges that are in the Smash or Pass um video that I was like, I want to put them in. I want to figure out their names. I'm not going to figure out their names in this short amount of time. So I just put them in, and under their name part, I put, what is their name? We'll figure it out. I swear to God, the name placard in front of him says Brent Buckley, and I'm pretty positive that Creed mentioned that recently, and that's what made me think about it. And I'm positive it was him.
She could get as close as possible. But I then turned Michelle into Mickey, so that's what I call her.
Oh, that's a fun one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband also often gets like Mitchell as a mispronunciation of that.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. I like Michelle, and if you want to be Jordan Mickey, you can think about that too.
Yeah, very fun. And there's a middle name change in there too, right? On your form.
Yep. And
yes.
Okay. All right. Merry Christmas.
Thank you. You too.
And you'll get used to that last name. Don't worry about it.
It'll stick. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank
All right,
you.
bye.
Bye.
Michael Brett Buckley. So it's Michael Brett Buckley. And is it Brett or Brent? Hold on. I have to make a note. I really don't want to fuck somebody's name up in this video that I've made. So I gotta make a note about that. Don't worry. It's Brett? Really? Shit.
Aspera Hart.
Hello,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Okay, so Castalia, is that the middle name?
Castalia.
Castelia. Castalia. Okay.
Yes.
So let me make sure, since you say Castelia, it's T-A-L, not T-E-L, right?
T-A-L, yes.
Okay. All right. And you're going to go by Vespera or Castelia?
Vespera.
Okay. All right, Vespera, we will mail a copy of this order to you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Awesome. Thank you. You as well. Bye-bye.
Okay. I can't think of anything but Vespa. And then by proxy, Macklemore. I think that's enough of the name change for now. We're gonna watch the divorce now because we can watch the rest of that later. We'll watch that over the next little while, and see what the rest of the people got for their name changes. For now, what we're gonna do is slip on down to Texas, I believe, because this hearing's almost an hour long as well, and then you add in me babbling on. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see.
Good afternoon, everyone. This proceeding is being live streamed on YouTube consistent with the open court's provision of the Texas Constitution. If any of the parties before the court have an objection to the live stream, please inform Judge Iserlo when she calls your case. With that being said, the 455th District Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Iserlo presiding.
All right, very good. Good afternoon, everyone. We are back on the look-back case. Ms. Guardiola, could you please send me the cause number for this real quickly?
I can, Judge.
That would be great. Just put it in the chat or on Teams, either way. Okay, we're here in D-1-FM-22-007128. This is ITO Litvack. All right, very good. So unfortunately, I typically try to have a few minutes to look at your motions before I take the bench, but today, because of the meeting, I could not go about doing that. So we're here, we're on competing motions to compel. May I please have announcements by both parties?
Glenn Gonnett for respondent Kelly Litvack and counter petitioner. I think we filed the initial second motion to compel, and they filed a responsive motion to compel, Judge.
All right, very good. And Mr. Hennon, please announce.
John Hennon, Your Honor, on behalf of the petitioner in the case, Alan Samuel Litt.
Oh, you know that he was called Hyman as a kid, right? William, right? I usually take a few minutes to look at your case, but today I just couldn't even pretend I cared. Dang.
Back and a counter movement or also a movement today. And Mr. Gonnett's correct. His motion to compel was filed first.
All right, very good. Well, given that, let's see, we have competing motions to compel. So with that, let me hear from Mr. Gonnett. I've just pulled up, I'm pulling up these motions right now.
And it may be that I think it's going to help a little bit to get a background on.
You know what? Before you do, lawyer man, I am going to just say I did my makeup differently today. I don't know if anybody noticed, but my sister bought me some new makeup for Christmas that we'll be using in our 2024. It is so deep within me wanting to rhyme everything. I'm like 2024, not a whore. It's like Tourette's, but it's not. 2024 makeup series that I am learning how to do makeup. She very kindly said, I think you should try this color on your eyes. So I did, and I did the like waterline on the top of my eye earlier, and I wish that I was filming it because I was like, first of all, you're doing it. Oh my God. But second of all, like, I wish I had filmed my face being so impressed that I was actually managed to do it. Jaime. Oh, yeah, I knew that. I knew a guy named that as well. You got a new makeup palette as well. I got a palette, and she bought me this Sephora palette, they call them. They call them palettes, guys. Did you know that? Oh my God. I don't know how to use makeup, so we're going to learn all of it together. But she also got me brown eyeliner, which is what she wanted. Oh, glamour. Yeah, that's right, Jonathan. Yeah. So anyways, so we're going to jump into this case. They're competing motions to compel. The judge knows about as much as we do. So let's all find out together from this little recap that this lawyer is going to give us here what's going on. I think it's a little spicy.
On what's happened. You heard this case back in August 15th, but basically back in April of this year, Mr. Litvack was required to turn over to the initial documents that we requested, production documents. None were turned over. We've been waiting basically for full responses on documents since April of this year, Your Honor, from Mr. Litvack. I sent out a deficiency letter on the first motion to compel, giving Mr. Litvak adequate time to comply. After no response, I set a hearing on our first motion to compel. That was heard by Judge Lytle, Lisette Lytle, on May 26th. At that time, she gave Mr. Litvak 45 days to comply with the documents. But I had to send out yet another deficiency letter for a second motion to compel on August the 3rd to Mr. Hennon. He had changed attorneys. You heard on August 15th our motion to enforce the standing order, as well as Mr. Hennon's motion to de novo the marital sell the house. And you made rulings, and one of which was to have the parties supplement their discovery on September 8th, which Ms. Litvak did timely. Then during that time, I believe the time frame is that Mr. Litvak sent us a second request for production of documents, which we complied with and responded to. I filed I sent a deficiency letter to Mr. Hennon, like I said, back on August 3rd. We set our second motion to compel I filed my second motion to compel on September 15th.
Mm-hmm.
You had ordered the parties to go to mediation on the 26th, which we all attended. And then this hearing was reset for my motion to compel on the 6th. And then Mr. Hennon filed his own counter petition. So
what day was your motion to compel filed, Mr. Garnett?
On September 15th.
Okay, because I'm looking here at the First Amendment, but I think this was filed by Mr.
Oh my God. I don't think she said it and what she means, but in my brain, she just said, I'm looking at the First Amendment, as if she's reading the Constitution.
Hennon, let me get back to September the 15th.
You know, it may have been later. I think it was submitted to Mr. Hennon, but I didn't catch that. It may have been filed thereafter sometime. But
yeah, I found it. It was filed
okay.
here. No, Alan Litvak, and you're representing Ms. Kelly, right?
Right.
Judge, Mr. Gonitz, it's the second motion to compel was filed on October 9th. And I just happened to be looking at the file stamp. Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, good. Okay. Hang on a second. Disposition of issues, counter petition, Fourth Amendment. Ah, there it is. Okay. I've got it. Okay, Mr. Gonit, I've got your motion to compel here and it's open. I'm looking at it. So why don't we go through these and then we'll shift gear and go over to Mr. Hennon's.
Very well.
Does that sound like a good plan to you, Mr. Hennon?
Yes, Judge.
All right. Okay. So, all right.
So on page 4, Judge, you can go to page 4. That starts our requested documents in our motion.
All right. Here I'm on page 4. Okay. I'm with you.
We are now there's now been 7 supplemental, I think 7. He's made 7 supplemental responses to discovery. And I think in large part.
Kathleen, we are going to be working on finding colors that work for us, as well as making do with what we have, because that's mostly my style. Is like, I wish I could get a color, one of those color sessions where they're like, hold every color up to your face and tell you what's good or not. But I'm not going to do that. That's just never going to happen. So instead, we will read tips on the internet and transfer them to ourselves. That's pretty much my idea. Also, I just had a realization, if I wore a green shirt, I could change it to anything to test the color.
Due to Mr. Hennon getting on board with Mr. Litvak. But number 1, bank statements, we're not contesting that now, but on 2 canceled checks, we are. We don't have any canceled checks he has 3 bank accounts, Judge. He has a Chase, he has a Bank of America, and a PNC bank account.
Okay.
I don't have any canceled checks from the Chase or the Bank of America. And the reason why that's significant is that you heard testimony back on that motion to enforce the standing order where you heard a lot of wasting claims.
Yeah, I remember that.
We have a lot of transfers where we need backup documentation to support our wasting claim when we go to a final hearing. And so
right.
there's a transaction that we know about in May of 14th for $6,500. A check was written. Don't have a copy of that. We know there's an $800 check written to Wills, Texas. I believe that's on the Chase. Both of those were possibly on Chase, that we don't have any kind of canceled check. So we need canceled checks for those two accounts, Chase and Bank of America.
All right, let me hear from you, Mr. Hennon. Is that something we can get to them? I mean, it does seem like they would be entitled to that. Or let me hear your views.
So, Judge, essentially what Mr. Litvak has produced over a handful of different supplements is many canceled checks, many records relating to request for production number 2, all for PNC Bank. Mr. Litvak has the story here. The short version of it is he had a Chase account that got closed. When it got closed, he opened a Bank of America account. That account also then got closed, I believe, late March of this year. And then he opened the PNC Bank, which is his current bank account. He has produced everything.
What's PNC? Does anybody know what that stands for? William, what I was thinking is that I can change the background and then my dress or my shirt would change colors and I could test all the different colors on my face. Except for green, of course, basically. But I have the ability to do chroma keys and color keys. And so, but yesterday for Christmas, I wore a green tank top. And basically I blended into the background except for my boobs. It looks sort of cool. Yeah, got closed, right? I do actually recall when I worked at the bank, we did PNC Bank, headquartered in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, is one of the largest diversified financial service institutions in the United States. Wonderful. Again, in Canada, we have very few banks, like 6 major banks. One of them even just got bought out by another one. No. Well, I want to try on dresses, shirts. I want to try colors on my skin tone. Anyways, when I worked at the bank, I had a stalker. You guys know this story. The stalker was creepy. They came into the bank. This is like 5 stories, but eventually it became too much. Like they weren't over the top stalking me at the bank and the police had to get involved and the bank forcibly closed the guy's bank account and said you can't bank here at any of our branches in Canada, which is a pretty big deal. Like in Canada, it's difficult to to close somebody's bank account like that. And so that's the only time I've ever heard of that happening forcibly without somebody initiating it. People close their accounts all the time to go to different financial institutions to make a point. But that was the only time that I recall it being without somebody's consent that we closed the account. And I remember the letter that we wrote and all these things and sent to him. And then he had like a no trespass, warning for all the CIBCs in the country, which is a lot. Lots of branches.
Relevant to this question for PNC. He cannot access, and this position has been taken by Mr. Litvak for quite some time. I think it was even mentioned at the last hearing in front of you, even though that wasn't really a compel hearing. He cannot go get records from Chase or Bank of America at this point because those accounts are closed. So he cannot obtain canceled checks. He has informed me he's attempted to do so, but he's not been able to do that.
Okay.
I can respond to that, Judge. We have had that kind of discussion. I think Ms. Litvak actually heard that, went ahead and did her own investigation and found he can present himself in person and get these documents. There's nothing compelling, nothing preventing him from doing that. He just needs to go to a local branch and make the request. Those were his accounts. Yes, they're closed, but he still has access to them, but he's failed to actually do that.
Mr. Hennon, what about that? I mean, it does seem like some banks will sometimes do require that in person. Is that something he's undertaken?
Judge, I don't know if Mr. Litvak has personally gone to the bank and attempted to do this. I know we have had a lot of discussion about doing everything we can to obtain these records. He has not been able to do so. I think he's done everything he can on his end. And I may say this too many times today, or I may decide just not to even bother with it, but I also don't know what it matters. And I don't want to say that canceled checks are not relevant to a divorce, but this is a very small estate that is dwindling on a daily basis with the litigation that exists.
And my response, Judge, is given the nature of the estate that we really only have a house, we have 3 crypto accounts, case files. You'll hear about that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's a bank, I mentioned earlier, there's a check that he wrote for $6,500. That is significant. That's a substantial sum that we don't know where it went or to whom. And it goes right into our wasting claim assertion that we need to be able to verify this.
Yeah. All right. So, Mr. Hennon, I don't quite know what to say about this. I do think that banks will get checks from closed accounts, cancel checks from closed accounts. Maybe Mr. Litvak does need to take that extra step and go down there. And I hear what you're saying. It's a small estate, but why keep fighting over this? It should be something relatively easy to get. Now, if for some reason Mr. Litvak cannot get it, then I would ask that he put that in a declaration or a penalty of perjury, the steps that he's taken to try to get these canceled checks and why he could not. Now, that's under penalty of perjury, which means, if you can't get the canceled checks, and you're telling the truth, it's no big deal. If you try to fudge it a little bit, because actually you could, that's a pretty big deal to state that under penalty of perjury. So that's what I'm going to ask him to do. Now, I'm not saying Mr. Litvak would fudge it, but I suspect a direct request to the bank in person would get that those chase. So let's go with that.
Judge, just so I do my client due diligence, I am looking back at records. He has gone in person. My client.
Kathleen, I also used to be the bad check lady at the bank back in the day. A lot of people won't understand what that means. But the check can only be withdrawn from an account either through the check coding system, or if it bounces and comes back, they're basically kept at the branch and in this little box. At least it was when I was. And the thing is, if the money is in the account, you can take that money immediately. Like, you could direct debit the account for the check. The catch is knowing when the money is going to be in the account and getting to it before the customer does, because basically that's the issue. You can't, probably in this day and age, it would be a lot easier, though. You could probably code something that would automatically scan the account, and then once it hit the right number, it would debit the account. We didn't have that in the system that I worked. And so what would happen is, it would basically, there was like a Rolodex box or like a recipe card box that had number or like letter dividers in it, and all the bad checks were put in there. And if it was slow, or if you wanted to do something or whatever, you grabbed that box and you just pulled out the checks and started looking through the accounts. And it was like winning the lottery when you would clear one of those checks. Oh no, you don't call anybody. No, absolutely not. We didn't call anybody. We would just basically stalk their bank account until there was money in it. Some of them, there would never be money in it. It would never clear. But some of them we would get, and people would come in angry, so angry later. And of course, that was like game that I liked to play. So I often had to explain it to people. Like, other tellers would have people come in angry, and they'd be like, I don't know what this is. It looks like a branch debit. a direct debit, but you can identify who did it based on the code. So they would know it was Paisley, and they'd come over and ask or phone and ask, like, hey, what happened? Why is this debit through this account? And then I would quite happily go over and explain the bad check that they wrote has finally cleared. It's no longer bad. It's good. But they were not happy about it. I'll say that. And some of the checks were ratty, like old and ratty. But remember, a check becomes stale dated, but I don't think that that counts after it's been processed the first time. So even if it was, let's say they wrote, because in Canada, it's like 6 months for I think it's 6 months for a stale dated check. Maybe it was. Anyways, the whole point is if it's too old, you can't run a new check through the system. But I think once it's been run through once and bounced, it's just like allowed to be collected on until eternity.
For me, he's gone in person repeatedly to attempt to do this. I understand the court's position. I think a declaration is a good idea, and I do not resist that. But that has been done according to Mr. Lynch.
Well, let's go on and have a declaration then of the steps that he's taken under penalty of perjury to try to get this, and attach any communications that he's had from the banks, emails or letters that just say we can't get to this anymore. Because otherwise, Mr. Gannett and his client are not going to feel like they've got the whole picture. And we need to put this one to bed. I mean, absolutely, this is a small estate. We just need to put this one to bed ultimately, and not keep going over this. All right, Mr. Gannett. So that's my order on that one. What's your next one?
Number 10 on page 5, the records of investments.
Yeah.
This relates to the cryptocurrency accounts. And so we've been getting piecemeal information. His initial sworn inventory didn't list anything. Now he's got 3, I believe. He testified at one of the previous hearings with Judge Lytle, I believe that he has been locked out of his 3 accounts and that he would have to give each one of these 3 crypto companies more money for him to access his accounts. Judge Lytle heard that testimony and said, okay, I'm going to give you 45 days to get this squared away, but I'm ordering you to produce the correspondence on WhatsApp with these crypto accounts to confirm that you have said to me that you've been locked out. Yeah. We've been waiting, Judge, since September of 26, May 26 of 2023 for these WhatsApp correspondence on these 3 accounts. We have a single report on a Coinbase account that has a report of May 21st through January 23. That's all we have. And to top it off is we were set for trial before and it got canceled because I think that Mr. Hinton was ill and couldn't hear this case or something. But in that, he did turn over pre-trials, and in their pre-trials, they have not listed crypto as an asset. Okay. So their position is that's nothing to be divided. That's nothing to be assigned to Mr. Litvak. So this is significant. This is significant for us to be able to confirm that the money that he spent on investing in these 3 accounts, he doesn't have access to those accounts because he's locked out because they want more money to do so. And it's just we just can't trust him to say that on the stand. We need to go to a second source to confirm what he's testifying to, that's truth.
And it sounds like Judge DeSeta Lytle had already ordered the communications turned over, right?
That's correct. That's right, Judge. We're doing a second motion. Yes.
Mr. Hennon, these crypto accounts, I've been dealing with them a little bit lately, and I know they can be a little frustrating sometimes, but they are entitled, I think, to some sort of communication that shows that Mr. Litvak doesn't have access to them. So do we have something like that, or?
Judge, I don't believe we have communication showing he's not going to have access. There's sort of 3, and I'm fuzzy on Coinbase and Bitcoin and all these things at crypto myself, but there's Coinbase, there's Bitrun, and Normandy are the 3 kind of separate accounts at issue in this case. The Bitrun in Normandy, my client has testified already under oath. We can do a declaration if we need to. Doesn't have access to those accounts, that there is $0, 0 funds in those accounts. Coinbase, he has produced extensive records for, start to finish, of the time frame that's in question. That has been produced. Okay. So I don't believe Mr. Lip, to my knowledge, I have everything that Mr. Litvack has. We have produced it, and he does not have access to anything else as it relates to BitRun or Normandy.
Mr. Garnett?
Well, again, I think it was pretty clear. The language I used, I recall it from Judge Lytle's ruling, was that he was ordered to produce correspondence because it came up in the hearing that he was corresponding with these people by WhatsApp, and that he testified that he was locked out. There are communications, emails, whatever it is.
Counsel, I don't know if it happened to anyone else, but I lost you. He was corresponding with these people by WhatsApp, and I lost you after that.
Okay, thank you. I recall the testimony was he was corresponding through WhatsApp about the status of these crypto accounts, and that's what Judge Lytle ordered him to produce, those communications, because his testimony was he was locked out and that he had to pay more money to get access. He had to pay more money to get access to his own accounts. And presumably there's communication between him and these companies, because it's not just one, I believe is all. I mean, I'm not sure when he got Normandy account, but it was clear to us from that hearing that he's been communicating with these companies, at least one of them.
Mr. Hennon, I wasn't present in Judge DeSoto Lytle's court for that hearing, but to the degree there has been discussion of WhatsApp, I do think they're entitled to it. Whatever Mr. Litvack has had, this doesn't actually ever get any better, Mr. Litvack. This is, we do need you to be forthright with this, because these crypto accounts where people start alleging they can't get to stuff, it can end very, very, very badly for a litigant. Okay. So let's think about it a little bit. Really, we don't have you're locked out of these accounts and there's no communication showing this, sir? I don't believe that. So go in and get your attorney, whatever communication you have, if it's on WhatsApp or if it's on emails or whatever you have, they need more information that really, really shows what's going on with these accounts. Because as I said, with this crypto stuff, I can't get to it and I don't know anything about it does not end well for litigants. Okay. So go in and get that to your lawyer and turn it over to Mr. Garnett. All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay. What else?
Let's go past page 6 to, let's see, page 7, page 8. We're going to go to page 9, number 19, real estate.
All right.
So what we're missing is the house is the big asset. We have received some statements from based on, let me back up a little bit. Mr. Litvack went and purchased a house on his own without Ms. Litvack being part of it. She's not on any paperwork. He's the one who has sole control over the mortgage company and all those documents. He's turned over some of the mortgage statements, but we don't have the current ones, I think, beginning since I don't have the current balance on the payoff on the mortgage as of October, or I think it was from June through October. I don't have the current payoff. That's a huge issue in the case, the house. Right now, it's basically on the market. But we don't have that number. I can do some deductions from prior statements, but I don't have statements since June.
Mr. Henning, can we get the current payoff on that mortgage?
We can, Judge. I'm looking at a long list of everything that's been produced in relation to the real estate number 19.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make sure that is, I'm sorry that it's voluminous here, but I'm trying to be accurate.
No, I appreciate it.
We have produced a lot of mortgage statements. It looks to me like maybe the more current one was late spring of this year, though, and I'm not sure why that is. So that can get rectified.
Okay, let's go on and get the current payoff, because it's I know how it is with Discovery. You bank the big effort, you scan all the things, but that late spring date is now looking a little stale. So get them all caught up on that, and they do need that. Okay. What else, Mr. Garnett?
Page 11, Judge 26, criminal charges. We understand that Mr. Litvack has outstanding warrants in Louisiana. We're asking that he turn those documents over related to that.
Okay. Well, he's shaking his head no, but Mr. Hennon, what do you know about this?
Judge, I have asked Mr. Litvack about this. Obviously, this has been brought up repeatedly already in this case. Mr. Litvack testified about this under oath in front of you when we were here back in August.
Remember it, but that's no big surprise there. Okay.
It was ancillary at best, but he has been clear that he is aware of absolutely no warrants anywhere period. If there is one, and I'm not saying that there is, but if there is, it's a public record. If Ms. Litvak or Mr. Gonnett think they know where it exists, they can go try to access that and cross-examine my guy quite forcefully if they go unearth one. But we are not aware of a warrant at all, and simply stating that one exists isn't a basis to compel him to produce one. So
well, let's go on and put that in the affidavit that there isn't one. That then they can close the door on it. And he's shaking his head, so I assume he doesn't have one. But under penalty of perjury, and that's the only way they're going to put that one to bed. Now, like you say, if they go out and find one, then not good. Not good to perjure yourself in court. But anyway, that's what Mr. Litvak needs to do. All right, next one, Mr. Gonnett.
All right. Physical health. So I'm going to pass over the issue related to gifts and loans because I think it's really going to come out through some Cash App and Venmo and Zelle stuff that's requested later. So it's kind of duplicative. The physical health, there's an allegation that Ms. Litvak assaulted Mr. Litvak. He has a pending protective orders case in Travis County.
Yeah.
And we're asking for documents related to surgeries on his eyes. He turned over some billing statements about that, but nothing that basically just receipts, but nothing to show what that surgery was.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's crucial because of his allegation that she intentionally injured him. We want to know what procedures were we want the documentation that shows what procedures were provided to him regarding his eye surgeries.
All right, Mr. Hennon, how do you respond to that?
It's been produced. We produced the medical records that were obtained related to the eye surgeries. I can give Bates numbers if
that would
helps.
be helpful. It sounds like a lot of documents have exchanged hands. So if you have those Bates numbers, that would help Mr. Gonnett tremendously.
Well, thank you.
So I believe, let me make sure, I believe that's going to be Bates numbers 1212 through 1260.
And that includes not only just bills, but actually the procedures that were performed.
I mean, I'm trying to look at how it's Bates right now. That's not the only thing that's been produced in response to the question, but
Judge, I think what may help us is there's a Man Eye Institute that we believe conducted the surgeries, and I think we can't get that without him signing off on some kind of release. I would ask that he be ordered to sign a release so I can get those independently.
Okay, that is kind of the gold standard, Mr. Hennon. What's the situation? Can we just get a release on this instead of?
I just think they've been produced. I'm looking at what's Bates March 1212.
Well, let me do this. I'm happy to look at those Bates marks, and if I think that they're sufficient, then I'm not going to insist on the release. Is that good enough, Judge, to do it that way? Or I know it's kind of.
Well, I'd like to know now, rather than you'll have to come back. But I mean, if Mr. Hennon's saying they're produced, then I mean he's right. There's no reason to keep kind of going after the same piece of discovery. So why don't you look at that and see if what you have.
Okay.
Satisfy it.
Is that on the 7th supplemental? I don't know where that's going to show up.
That's from a 5th supplement, Mr. Gonnett, sorry.
Okay.
That was sent on October 9th of this year.
All right, I'll take a look at that, Judge, and we can come back to that afterwards.
Okay. All right. What's next?
So the 37 email communications, page 14, this goes along with our waste claims with regard to communications with these women that are listed. There's the only correspondence we have from Stacey Austin we're requesting, Jessica Weller, Stephanie Amick, Jackie Muir Harder, is an email or a few emails from Jessica Weller. That's it. So we know that there's communications. We think that supports a waste claim, and we're requesting those, Judge.
All right. Mr. Hennon.
So, Judge, regarding, sorry, I'm trying to find the right place. Request for production 37.
Yes.
If you look, I mean, as it is quoted in Mr. Gonnett's motion there on page 14, this is a heck of a question. It is long and convoluted and really far-reaching. This is any messages between Ms. Litvak and Mr. Litvak, or Ms. Litvak or Mr. Litvak and anybody that he's designating in his request for disclosure or interrogatory responses related to the marriage, the parent-child issues, which that's not even a subject of this case, property of either party, travel plans or itineraries, gifts or transfers of money, any romantic or sexual relationship. I mean, it's a very,
That's where it's specifically in my motion. We were asking him to provide those emails and text messages between himself and those paramours that were alleged.
Oh, they're asking for all of his mistress's emails. Ay, 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 ay. All the travel plans, all the secret trips. Oh, 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 folks. Oh dear. I don't know. Kelly looks like she wants those names and numbers so she can fucking call them up. I think I think it's probably hard for somebody who cheats or was cheating for a while to just be honest in court even. Like, hey Chuck. Like they're asking him to turn over all these secret. He's like, "Well, those are under Pizza Hut and Domino's. I put all my paramours under pizza places so that it doesn't look suspicious when it pops up."
Our sexual partners, so we're tailoring it to those specific people.
What if it's tailored? Does that make it a little better, Mr. Hennon?
Well, it's not tailored
No,
at
but
all.
he's saying he will tailor it. That's what he's saying, is he's going to limit it. I agree with you, Mr. Hennon. The way it currently is written, as I'm looking at it, which is number 37, which he's put on page 14, it's very broad. And like you couldn't possibly get to all of it. But Mr. Gonnet now is saying,
well, it's in my motion, Judge. If you look at the last sentence on
okay, Mr. Gonnet is now saying, and in this motion saying that they're just wanting the email communications with these paramours, alleged paramours. Now we're going to say alleged paramours. So, Mr. Henning, can we get to that?
Well, we already have. I mean, I'm sort of making my step one argument when I probably should skip to step two, which is Mr. Litvak has produced Bates numbers 570 through 579 and 587 through 664. And I can repeat that obviously if I need to, but he has produced messages 570 through 579 and then 587 through 664. He's produced messages from App Close that quote some of these messages. He has produced messages with Miss Jessica Weller. He's done this. The problem is that there's a difference of opinion about the breadth of Mr. Litvak's infidelity, and that's probably no shocker to anybody. And I'm not trying to be casual about something that's a serious issue, but Ms. Litvak thinks there's more information out there. My client has informed me he's produced everything that's relevant to this, and does not agree about the scope of infidelity that Ms. Litvak believes has happened. There are mutual infidelity allegations in this case, and I again, I'm not going to beat my chest with this too much. I don't know where this is going. I don't know what we think this is going to change on November 20th when these guys finally get this done.
Yeah.
And he's produced everything that he has and says is responsive to this request. And I mean, if there's some reason to invalidate that, then I invite that as cross-examination of Mr. Litvak, quite frankly.
Now, what about that, Mr. Gunn? You make some good points. Where are we going with this deal?
Well, we believe that these women that are listed in that sentence, he failed to provide emails and text messages between himself and paramours, sexual partners, alleged, naming them specifically: Stacey Austin, Jessica Weller, Stephanie Amick, Jackie Murray Harder. He did turn over some communications from Jessica Weller. That was a coworker. Now we believe there's other partners in Willis, Texas, but we think that we are restricting this reasonably for those communications. If he's having communications with these women, we're asking him to turn over those emails and text messages. That's all.
But so kind of, I guess kind of what's the end game here? I mean, we certainly has been
both parties have competing claims for infidelity, Judge. And there is it kind of goes to waste claims again about spending money on people that aren't, it's not for living expenses. And you heard that ad nauseum, unfortunately, the last time we were in court. That
All right, Mr. Hennon, can we get this? Can we get for these 4 women listed? Let's get this information. It's not a super duper close call. I mean, I kind of do wonder where it's going here, but is it possible to get these turned over? I'd order those turned over. Okay.
I guess my only issue, Judge, there is a specific subject matter that is sought in this request. It's not just the people, it's the about part of the communications.
Right.
It's kind of all over the place and it's kind of expansive, but it is not everything with all of these people. And so if my client, I mean, if they're not discussing the children or travel plans or gifts or a sexual relationship, then Miss Litvak doesn't get to just get all of Mr. Litvak's messages with everybody.
Okay. All right, Mr. Gonick, come on, guys.
I don't have a problem with that, Judge.
Work this out.
Judge, I don't have a problem with that.
All right, let's go for that then. Okay, we'll narrow it as to these topics that Mr. Hennon just discussed. And we're going to turn over for those 4.
But I think I want to make sure that I'm not cutting something off with regard to expenditures on these women. That's really where we're going through, along with the adultery claim is this a wasting claim. And so if there's communications about transferring funds or anything on these text messages and emails, that is relevant. It's relevant to our claim for wasting.
Okay. Let's get any emails that have information about spending money or itineraries or, waste claims pertaining to these 4 alleged paramours. Okay.
Thank you. And Judge
All
sorry.
Go ahead.
Next one is 39 online dating services. There's lots of expenditures related to dating apps. So we're asking for him to turn over his profiles and correspondence that would include Tinder and the perfect match. Haven't received any.
Oh God. Oh dear. Is this only during the marriage? Like he doesn't have to send over his subsequent Tinder messages, right? Oh, this is terrible. Who wants to read this? Just get divorced, people. Move on. I don't even understand. Like, why would she want to read about the secret trip that he takes his mistresses on? Why does she want to? I get it if there's money to be got, but I don't know that there is. Ugh.
Like that I'm aware of.
Okay. So I remember the dating services being a concern, and I remember ordering him not to spend any more money on those. I don't quite know where you're going for with the profiles, though. Tell me
that kind of links up with regard to what it just gives more information about what his intent is to get on these sites. Maybe it's pretty much stated just for the nature of what he's doing with these sites, but it gives a background detail to that request.
Mr. Hennon?
We've provided documents, Bates number 665 through 668. It's some profile, but Mr. Litvak hasn't continued to engage, as the court mentioned.
Yeah.
But from what pre-existed, it's his profile picture. There's some limited communication. It's all he's got, and he's not still doing it. So I don't know what needle we think this moves again, but he's produced. And if they think he's not producing in good faith, then at this point it's meat for cross-examination, I guess.
I kind of tend to agree, Mr. Gonnet. If they produce what they have on these, and I did order him to stop, and from all the appearances he stopped, I think they've kind of done it on this one. Okay.
All right.
All right. Let's go to the next one.
42, page 17. That is the payment processing accounts, which there's transfers out of his bank account from using Zelle, Cash App. There's a a $1,700 payment via an interrogatory that we don't see how that was made. And so we basically need these statements. Miss Litvak she produced hers, and I think in the second request for production. It's easy to get access to your own PayPal account, Zelle account, Cash App account. We need those, Judge.
All right, Mr. Hennon, have you all turned this over yet? I do admit they are easy to get to, but you may have already turned it over.
We have produced, Judge, it's Bates marked 713 to 732. We have produced records for Cash App. We have produced records for Zelle. We had done that, I think, even pre-existing this second motion to compel.
Okay.
Mr. Litvak cannot access, and it'll sound like a broken record, but he can't access his Chase account anymore. So the Chase Zelle history that would exist there, he can't go resurface, but he can give what he has and what he already had in records. We have produced those pages. We have produced pages of Zelle transactions.
So are we to believe that if you just close your bank account and open a new one at a new place, that stuff's old. That's not how it works. Oh, Jesus Christ.
And we have produced Cash App logs as well. So he's given over everything he's got.
Conspicuously left out the pee-pee. We all love the pee-pee. PayPal for life.
I like a declaration from Chase that he can't access his Zelle account then, Judge, if we're going to do that.
Mr. Hennon, I think that the Chase and the Zelle are kind of connected, so maybe just add that in there. When you're putting it together, just the Zelle piece of it is, from my understanding, the way Zelle works is that they're interconnected, that Zelle and that Chase account. But let's just add that in there, and that will give Mr. Gonnett and Ms. Litvak the reassurance they need that they've got it all. Okay, Mr. Gonnett, what's next?
Okay. Well, we talked about the cryptocurrency. I mean, we have a one document report for one account. And I mean, I think I'm repeating myself. So I think with this WhatsApp, hopefully that's going to get us further down the road with regard to those two accounts. But
yeah, as I said, it does not, litigants trying to hide money in cryptocurrency, it does not end well.
And Judge, that's it for our requests.
Okay.
I did, but I want to be able to, I want to say that, I thought the way I practice and most people practice, and Mr. Hennon's an excellent lawyer, that when you're dealing with discovery, it's so onerous, right? You want to send out a deficiency letter to let the other side know what you need, give them time to respond to that. And if they don't, then at the last recourse is to file a motion to compel instead of hearing. Yeah. That's what I did on the first motion. I did the same thing with Mr. Hennon with the deficiency letter. His response was to basically send me more discovery, Judge. More discovery, not respond to what I'm needing. And I don't recall, he may be able to produce it, but I don't recall a deficiency letter that he submitted to me. He went ahead and filed a motion to compel, didn't give me the opportunity to review what he wanted, and let me basically try to comply with that without having a hearing today. So I'm objecting that we're going forward with his motion when he didn't give me the adequate opportunity to look at a deficiency letter and try to respond to that.
Okay.
And
Mr. Hennon, how do you respond?
Judge, I'm trying to look. This is the first I've heard of this issue. My motion has been on file for quite some time. It lays out I'm going to go with superior precision, exactly what is missing from Ms. Litvak's pretty fundamental discovery that we don't have. So I wasn't, I think there's full notice of what's missing. We have been moving at kind of an accelerated pace since we were in front of Your Honor before to get to mediation, obtain financing for our offer at mediation as you ordered, which my client did, yet we're still here, and get ready for these settings and a trial. So I mean, I can look, but it's pretty fundamental stuff we're asking to be
That's
compelled.
all right. We're going to go ahead with Mr.
Judge,
Henry.
if I could
No,
respond
Mr.
though.
Gannett, no, we're not. We're going to just, we got to go. So
Well,
I need you to put an
consumer-
order together for me on the ones that I just granted pertaining to you, Mr. Gannett.
And I'm also asking, Judge, for my motion that there's got to be consequences for him to continue to delay this. I know you're doing an instrumental job in trying to make this case go forward. I don't know if this is possible for us to have a trial on the 20th. We're enduring this additional expense. I think there should be additional, sanctions for Mr. Litvak to pay attorney's fees $500 a day until he complies. You ordered him to pay attorney's fees, Judge, to me on the violations of the standing order, which he's yet to pay. Your orders are meaningless to him as it relates to trial to attorney's fees.
Wow.
It's very frustrating.
I'm not going to order any additional attorney's fees at this point. The ones I've already ordered, but I'm not ordering any new ones today. So, Mr. Hennon, where's your motion? What date did you file it?
October 17th,
Okay.
2023, Your Honor, and it's the
Okay.
first amended motion to compel.
Okay, first amendment motion compelling for sanctions. Now, okay, just have it open here. Okay, so here we go. So let me put the view to reading. And all right, so tell me, where are we with this, Mr. Hennon? Where do you want to start? I assume y'all work through some of these.
So not really, Your Honor. It really is as it lays it out. Beginning at page 1, request for production number 1, bank statements.
Yeah.
The relevant period, I believe, on both sides of the discovery done in this case is since January 1st, 2020. We have December 24th, 2022 to August of 2023 for Ms. Litvak only. So we need supplementation of what follows August, and we need initial production for January 1st, 2020 until the end of 2022.
All right, Mr. Gannett, I think that's reasonable. Can we get that to them, please?
And I'm kind of looking in with regard to those production documents. I think it's appropriate if I could to kind of go through this with Ms. Litvak, just to confirm that those were not produced. And for each one, just to make sure that I'm on board with providing statements since for January 20 through December 2022. I don't know what the other time frame was. Okay.
Well, you can take a look at it. So here's what they're saying. They're saying, look, we did get bank statements, but they go from December 24th of 2022, which is not quite a year ago, all the way until August 23rd of 2023, which is, we're not really in trial yet. So he's saying, look, I need September, October, now we're getting into November of 2023 bank statements, but the relevant period goes all the way back to January 1st of 2020. So I need bank statements for all of 2020 and all of 2021, and then the first 11 months of 2022. Is that right, Mr. Hennon?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay, so.
And like I said, as far as September goes, remember you had a hearing, you had the parties provide documents through by September 8th. And so the statements that she produced were through August, which was consistent with that. I understand what you're saying. We want September, October 11th, and November now. Got it. And we want January 20 to December 2022. Okay.
Yeah. Get those, and then we'll be A-okay. So I'm going to order those produced. What else, Mr. Hennon?
Request for production number 2, Your Honor. Essentially a similar request discussed earlier on the other side, canceled checks. We have them for the period of September 9th of 2021 to August 18th of 2023, but again, not before and not after. So,
all right. So canceled checks are the same kind of thing, Mr. Gannett. That same time frame, as I'm saying, basically 2020, 2021, and the first 11 months of 2022, and then filling in on the back end that September,
October,
November. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Let's go to next one, Mr. Hennon.
The next one, Your Honor, is regarding debts. Now, we did very recently get I think 2 or 3 pages of what is part of a credit report for Ms. Litvak. I think part of it is referencing the timeshare, but I don't think we otherwise we don't really have any other records from Miss Litvak on our.
I love it. These people make me feel so poor. This is a tiny estate, Your Honor. There's only like the house, the crypto accounts, the timeshare. Jesus.
RFP 13.
Okay. All right. So we're, Mr. Gonnet, it seems like they've gotten some information here on debts, but they don't have everything they need starting with January 1st of 2020 to the present. So is there some way we need to get those to them? Okay.
All right.
All right. So I'm ordering those turned over.
And
Next.
that's number 13.
Yes.
Okay.
And now, Mr. Hennon, what's your next one?
Judge, we can skip number 16.
Okay.
Number 17, we don't have any documents related to Ms. Litvak's monthly expenses. A pretty fundamental request.
Yeah. They're going to need that, Mr. Gonnet. They can't go forward without that. So we need any documents that show her monthly expenses. And I don't know exactly what that would look like, but groceries, rent, gas, utilities, things of that nature, her monthly living expenses. Okay.
Okay. Does he want an updated budget, or does he want documentation that supports those numbers? What would he we can do a budget. He already produced a budget of ours that we produced in a previous hearing. He wants an updated budget that would show that. I don't know what's more relevant for him, but
let me ask you, Mr. Hennon, what are you looking for? Supporting documentation or a monthly budget?
Well, it would really, if I recall the request accurately, would be both. And I think that's what's been requested is, a budget for sure, and a current one at least. And the old one may still be current. I don't know that it's been produced in discovery, but we have it. We have it from a hearing.
Yeah.
But documents supporting that as well, which also probably relates to request 18, which is credit card and charge accounts. So we only have that for a small period as well.
All right, so let's go on and get those updated, both, Mr. Gonnet. We need the budget, the supporting documentation, and that goes to 17, and then also the credit card and charge accounts in number 18. Those just, again, response is inadequate. Okay, because it goes from September 21 through August 18th of 23, but of course it needs to go back to January 1st of 21, then all of 21 and the first, and then all the way up until the current of 2023. Okay.
All right.
So that's number 18. What else, Mr. Hennon?
So, Judge, request for production number 21, the financial statements. I'll be really honest. I have a lot of clients who don't have anything in response to this beyond what's really covered elsewhere in discovery.
Yeah.
There are a bunch of objections in Ms. Litvak's responses. If there are financial statements, ledgers, profit and loss, things like that have been prepared relevant, then I think we should be able to see them. If they don't exist, then we need, instead of 7 objections, we just need a statement that they don't exist. Honestly.
All right, Mr. Gonnet, where are we with this?
I'm happy with the statement that they don't exist because of her nature of her work. I think she's her own. Yeah, I'll do that.
Well, may confirm with her that she doesn't have any, because you don't want to say something that's not true.
Right,
So
right.
If she doesn't have any, remove the objections and just say doesn't have any.
Right.
If she does have some, remove the objections and answer. Okay.
I'm getting text messages from my client. It's hard because of the Zoom nature of this hearing that she submitted all of her American Express and Chase bank records. So I'm not sure where the disconnect is coming, but given the nature of today's hearing, we can go back through that and see what they're saying they're missing. But anyway.
Well, and there's also, just check it out and see, because remember, we're going all the way back to January 1st of 2021. And then we're going all the way forward to the present day. So that's, any little, if all that's been produced, great. If it hasn't, then just figure out what hadn't been produced and produce it. It's not, shouldn't be too onerous with those card statements. Okay, what else, Mr. Hennon?
Judge, I think we can skip to request for production 29. That's closely held corporations and or unincorporated business entities. As Mr. Gonnet mentioned, I think Ms. Litvak has her own businesses and business for herself. There are multiple objections, again, nothing produced that I'm aware of. And so there should be something that exists, I would imagine. And so any documents relevant to, I see Ms. Litvak shaking her head, but any documents that are relevant to number 29, I think we're entitled to.
Mr. Gonnet, where are we with this?
And those are documents related to incorporations or partnerships and the like? Is that what that's really requesting? I mean, I mean, we can do a statement assuming that's the case. I don't recall her in my conversations that she would have anything like that.
Well, if she doesn't, then just answer does not have and remove the objections. If she
Okay.
does, then remove the objection and provide the documents.
Got
Okay.
it. So those objections were, I'm gonna throw the other attorney under the bus on the objections with the previous attorney she had. So anyway, okay.
All right.
done.
What else, Mr. Henry?
Your Honor, we can skip to 44, which is legal and expert witness fees.
Yeah.
The issue I have here, I don't think that the fee statements are supplemented current. They may be or may be close. The biggest issue, though, is that they are, I think, 100% redacted, but for time spent and the actual cost, which we don't get to do. We have produced essentially unredacted statements already in this case.
Yeah.
I can provide case law on this if there's a dispute about it, but it would be meaningless if we were allowed to simply black out start to finish every entry.
All right. Mr. Gonnet, I do tend to agree with Mr. Hennon on this. Could we please get unredacted versions of those?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Very good. Okay. What else do we have?
Number 48, Your Honor, is employment records. Basically, again, we have lots of objections and nothing produced. If there's nothing, I would just like the objections removed in a statement that there is nothing. If there is something, I would like employment records produced.
Yeah, I hear you, Mr. Gonnet. Do we have, again, if she has employment records, remove the objection and respond. If she doesn't have employment records, remove the objection and respond. No record. So
got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I don't know what she has. I'm vaguely remembering that she had some sort of business that she ran, and she may have some of that. I don't know, but that type of thing does need to go to them. Look, it's just because if you go to trial and it's not there after they've requested it, it's going to be held against you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we're pushing on this stuff, guys, not to make you miserable. I don't like all these documents either, but you don't want to show up in court and have the judge go, well, of course you've got this. You don't have it. We're going to assume that this would be negative on you. You really don't want that to happen. It's far better to go, here's my statement right here. I wasn't spending money like she said I was spending it or he's spending it. So that's what you prefer. All right, Mr. Hennon, what's next?
Your Honor, I think I had one more, but I don't think it's going to be material enough to take up the court's time.
Okay.
And so that's all I have.
Okay, very good. All right, so here's what I'd like you all to do. I am going to deny both sides' requests for sanctions and fees. I would like you all to get together and draft this order. I see that we have, thank goodness, Ms. Jenray here on this call, and I hope she's been taking good notes. I know Mr. Gonnet has been. So you all get an order to me. Now let's not make it take too long, but realistically, when is that going to be? I mean, you think you can get it done by Friday, close of business?
Well, that doesn't sound like a huge imposition, Judge. It's really one of the documents going to have to be exchanged because we have a trial on November the 20th. I just don't see how this works.
Well, that ain't my problem right now. My problem is
Okay.
getting an order signed, okay?
Gotcha. All
So, and I do need y'all to get these documents exchanged. So here it is. It's November the 6th. There's no motion for continuance in front of me, and I will tell both the Mr. and Mrs. Litvack, there is no way that I can guarantee you that someone is going to grant this continuance. It's not in front of me today. We've gotten pretty negative on continuances, and we've already continued once. So let's talk about how quickly, Mr. Gonnet. I would say it looks like to me you all have more work to do, although Mr. Litvack's got some work to do too. How quickly can we get these documents exchanged, Mr. Gonnet? This is the question. Do you think you can, it's the 6th, do you think you can, I think the 13th that's a week from today. That gives you a week to live with them. So I'm going to order the documents turned over.
And I know that's not before you on a motion for continuance, but those documents affect me with regard to preparing a spreadsheet for property division that the local rules require us to have submitted that today. I don't know. I'm forced. My hands are forced. I don't know if he's going to object that I'm submitting something that's presumably not timely or it's revised. I mean, it just puts me in a super precarious
It puts you in
position.
a bind. I just can't rule on what I don't have in front of me.
I understand.
So it did look to me like, Mr. Garnett, like you had quite a bit to turn over. I just don't know that I can order the documents and the court order and everything done by the 10th. I don't know that realistically, I mean, of course you could if you could focus on it and get it done. Maybe that's the thing to do. All
I
right.
have another, I have another deadline on discovery that's due on the 13th. So
It's a misery. I really, this type of thing used to just drive me crazy in practice. Why don't you all try to get me a copy of my signed order by the 8th? Let's get these documents exchanged by the 10th. It's the best we can do for you today. Okay, so by close of business on the 8th, I expect my signed order. I mean, the order, I will sign it. And I expect you to exchange those documents by the 10th. It's really going to be incumbent upon the Litvaks, Alan and Kelly, to dig down and get these documents together in a fashion that your attorneys can deal with. And if you've got any kind of Adobe Pro skills, man, those are going to come into play right now. If you can get these things scanned in a PDF fashion and get those to your attorneys, Bates numbered even, it's going to help them. Because otherwise, if you just start sending them emails with batches of paper, neither one of these attorneys have the time to go through that. And what I'm telling you is that there's something out there, it's called a motion for continuance. It's not in front of me today. It would likely going to get one filed. I cannot guarantee the judge is going to grant that motion for continuance. I just can't guarantee it. So if you all can help your attorneys and really, just do that legwork for them and get it in a fashion that they don't have to mess with it too much, then this is all going to happen. And I'm not telling you because I'm trying to push you hard to be ugly. I'm just telling you realistically that continuance might not be granted. So take some time with those documents. See if you can't get them in a nice format, nice, all scanned in, all Adobe Pro. Send it over there, or send them a thumb drive, and then we're going to be good. If you start sending them a piecemeal and emails, they're gonna pull their hair out. It's gonna be ugly. Okay. All right. So that's where we're gonna go. Get me the signed order by the close of business or the order for me to sign close business on Wednesday. Let's get all this discovery exchanged by the end of business on November the 10th. And that's the best I can do for you all today. And I'm sorry. I know, Mr. Garnett, you're making me feel for you with all this stuff going on. My hands are tied. All right. Very good. It's always a pleasure to see you all. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you, Ms. Jenray, for being here with us as well. Mr. and Mrs. Litvak, it's nice to see you.
Wow. 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 What a crazy case. I will do some looking to see if I can find what happened, if they got the continuance or not. This is a little bit older. We have been going for almost 2.5 hours. I am gonna go out. I said I wasn't gonna go out for Boxing Day, but I've decided against that. I'm gonna go out because there's something I want to get. And then if I get what I need and I'm happy, I think I might do a stream later tonight. We'll see. It'll depend. We may just finish off the naming docket later. We'll see. But I appreciate that you guys are all here. I hope that you've had a wonderful day, a couple hours that we spent together. Please remember that I love you. I'm proud of you, and I will see you tonight or tomorrow. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, we said okay, Judge. Yeah, we said okay. We said bye. Bye.